I collect things that I find interesting or that I feel like are iconic, especially in relation to skateboarding. Once I realized that I could be a keeper of sorts of movie memorabilia in relation to skateboarding and that I could afford it, I was excited. Hey, Complex? Come on in. Welcome to my museum.
Tony, thank you so much for having us at this space. Pretty surreal to be at this space, I'm not gonna lie.
This is my happy place. If I'm home, you'll find me here on most days.
Talking about the products, we have to start here at your first pro model, the Powell Peralta, where it all started. What can you talk about these boards specifically, these up here?
This one was actually the first pro model that I got and rode. And I took it apart because they had some other colors coming in, and this was like kind of the first screen. So that was the first one I got to ride. This one was the first one that was wood stained.
Okay.
So I kept it separate because I didn't know if they would actually do that colorway again, which they didn't. Then I had it mounted on the wall in my house. We had a fire in the laundry room of the house. And so everything in the house got smoke damaged.
Okay.
And that's why it's got this like darker stain on it. This board actually ended up on display at a Quicksilver store, and then that store closed and they ended up tossing this.
Wow.
And someone found it. I don't know exactly how that whole transfer happened.
Okay.
And then they sold it. So all this was happening unbeknownst to me. And then someone alerted me like, hey, there's this board going around. People are trying to figure out if it's a legitimate board. And I was like, yeah, that's my board.
Wow.
I know why it's smoke damaged. So long story short, I bought it back from the person who actually bought it.
That's interesting because 81, 82 or so, things are happening, of course, for you, but did you just like, I know this is going to be a thing one day. Let's just put this to a side.
You know what? I never really had that vision.
Okay.
I was notorious for just throwing stuff away. I threw all my trophies away. Usually if I go through a board, I just give it to someone.
Okay.
So I never really had sentimental value to things like that, but these somehow just remained. I finally went through everything and decided, okay, these ones would be cool to let go of. These ones I want to keep. I just felt like it was time.
Absolutely.
And so I was kind of purging in a sense, but also I thought it was a perfect opportunity working with Juliens to do it all in one lot.
During like this era, you were young. What was like the mentality? It was all happening for you, but you're riding these boards. Take me back there.
It was weird because skating just wasn't big. It wasn't a big industry. It wasn't popular. So to have your name on a skateboard, it meant nothing, especially like in high school. It was like, you get your name on a yo-yo, like who cares?
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's a kid's thing. It was huge to me, but it wasn't like, I mean, I literally got a royalty check one month for $4.
Okay.
That means they sold 4 skateboards.
Wow.
Or 5 skateboards.
Yeah.
in that month. So it wasn't like someone gives you a model and that's your ticket to success and finances. And it was just more like, you're good enough to be a pro skater. Hopefully someone will buy it.
What can you say about this row of boards? What kind of sticks out to you from a sentimental standpoint?
Well, this board right here was actually the board I was riding the day of the 99 X Games Best Trick, just before the Best Trick event. I was actually street skating, shooting photos for ESPN magazine, and I landed a kickflip wrong and I snapped it, and you can see this crack right here.
Oh, wow.
And I remember thinking, oh shit, I need to set up a new board because the Best Trick is tonight. And so I had ridden this board the day before in the actual vert event. I got 3rd place in vert at that X Games. This is the board I was riding then. Then I broke it the next day, scrambled to take it apart, and then put the board together that was the board I did 900 on. But this is the board I should have done 900 on. Nostalgia is powerful because it gives you a feeling of time and place. I mean, there are people that love certain albums by certain bands, and it's not considered the best album by the band, but because it represented something in their life of that time and place when they listen to it, it means more than anything else. And the same thing is with skateboards for me, skateboards in movies. Like, it meant so much to me that skateboarding was in a movie. And the idea that I could have a piece of that nostalgia, and actually have it for myself is something that I don't undervalue at all.
We are here at the 900 section. I thought maybe that I would take a couple steps back just because I don't want to touch anything. This is okay.
It's okay.
Okay. Let's talk about the event first and how you were chasing this trick and what it meant. I've seen footage. Obviously, you've said it and you've seen it, but like it was the best night of your life.
Thank you. This is the best day of my life. It was the best night of my skate career.
Okay.
I should rephrase that. To be honest, it wasn't anything I expected to do that night, so I think that's why it all came as such a shock. I've been trying 900s since roughly 1986, 1987. Wow. The year after I landed 720s, I just thought, okay, the next progression of spinning is 900. And I chased it for a long time, and I actually got pretty serious about it in the mid-90s to where I fully committed to a landing and ended up breaking my rib. Wow. So that put it on the shelf for a while. And then when this event happened, my best trick at the time was a Varial 720. That's all I had planned, but I landed that pretty early on. And I didn't really have anywhere to go from there. And the announcer was kind of vibing me like, come on, let's see that 900. Yes. I was like, oh, dude, don't put me on the spot.
Right.
So I just kind of tried some for the crowd. And then at some point, after my third or fourth try, that night, pretty much every attempt was feeling pretty good.
Wow.
So I just thought, if I'm ever gonna try to land it again, it might as well be here.
Yeah.
I don't mind getting hurt for the sake of this, because I've already been jacked on it so many times alone on some warehouse ramp. So I just started trying to make it, and then at one point I realized that I needed to shift my weight mid-spin to counteract that falling forward thing, and it just worked.
It's such a crazy feat and one that you just hear in pop culture lore all the time. And then getting into the board, this is, I think your colleague Ted was like, this is the holy grail of skateboarding memorabilia. Do you, I know that you're going to be humble, but can you see why a lot of people feel that way?
Yeah, I understand. I mean, definitely that was a huge moment for me professionally. I think that some people saw that who didn't skate, and that got them inspired to try skating because they realized that there's this joy that can be had from it just in your own space. And really, I think that event, it was a microcosm of what skating is. It's camaraderie.
Yes.
It's community. It's fun. And yet it's also personal challenges. And so I was really thankful, and you know, I'm happy that people have reverence for this.
Yeah.
For me, it was just another deck I was riding, obviously. But I love that it's a time capsule of like that era.
Did this board ever leave your site? Was it always in
this
close
board
proximity?
This board was taken by a security guard at X Games.
What happened there?
He took it and stole it, essentially. And a neighbor of his knew about it and got it back for me.
Wow.
And I still have his info. I'm still in touch with him.
The security guard or the neighbor?
No, the neighbor.
Good. Listen, sometimes snitching works. Okay?
I reward him for his information.
So when did you realize that it was gone?
I mean, that night. But I didn't, you know, I was caught up in the moment. I wasn't really even concerned about it, but I'm really thankful he did.
The Falcon 1 and Falcon 2, such iconic boards, but those models specifically and this Falcon 2, what could you say about how people gravitated towards those models?
Well, I think it was mostly because we included these in the first video game, THPS. So Falcon 1, Falcon 2 were models that you could choose, and then people end up buying them. This was probably the only one that I rode that I have, and we don't have any more of these.
And then let's get to the sneakers. These have wear and tear from like literally the tricks that you were doing. What could you say about the sneakers and what they've been through and that night, why it was like the perfect choice?
Well, you can see that these are mostly, I was skating vert in them because this is when we're knee sliding, the toe wears out. Yeah, but you know, they're 20 plus years old, so I wouldn't recommend anyone putting them on because they're gonna fall apart. But this shows the wear and tear of vert skaters' journey for sure. And you know, at some point, you actually, not with these shoes, but with shoes before they were made for skating, you would burn through the toes, all the way down to your toenail when you knee slide.
And those had a little more.
That sucks. Yes. Yeah, so that's what this was for. But all reinforced. You know, I mean, this was the preeminent skate shoe at the time.
Yeah.
I first started trying to collect skateboards used in films when I saw one of the hoverboards from Back to the Future being auctioned off. And I was like, that would be a sick item to have. I think that was probably, I feel like, was the top of the mountain for me. And I eventually did get one that was a gift to the cast from Back to the Future 2, signed by the cast, and that started the snowball, for sure.
We have to talk about the Hook skateboard.
Oh yeah.
And the story behind you acquiring it. How did that come about?
I used to follow movie and TV prop auctions, like screen used items, just from movies that I liked or something that I was interested in. And at some point, that rabbit hole never ends.
Okay.
So I decided I'm gonna only focus on skateboards that were used in TVs and movies. The board from Hook that Robin Williams rode came up on an auction, and I just thought it was one of the coolest looking things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So I definitely was, I was all in. I was the highest bidder. Also, the board that Kurt Cobain painted for his high school friend.
Wow.
For $20 and a bag of weed. So those are the kind of things that I'm collecting for myself. They're not my boards, but they have really cool histories and are one-of-ones. Obviously, all like this, these are all one-of-ones.
Yeah. We talk about movies. What about like you being in so many pop culture, like the Jackass movies? Did you ever take any memorabilia from that set or not really? Was it an experience that once you did it, you wanted to just put it?
I have the skateboard that I used in Jackass Forever.
Okay. Where
we were being blasted on the street by a weapon. I don't know how to say it safely.
Okay.
The Pontosaurus.
Okay. And
so it has the Pontosaurus goo all over it.
Got it.
That's the best I can explain.
Almost a deadly weapon, I would say, right?
It was. It actually, I got sprayed so hard by that I was being, I was being dragged across the asphalt.
Wow.
So I came out bloody. I mean, you can't, if you go to a Jackass shoot, you expect to either be bloodied or hit in the crotch.
Okay. Prerequisite to signing up. You've been so successful with the game. The classic story is you go to lunch with, I think, an agent or Activision, and they just hand you a check for $4 million.
Yeah.
Which that story went viral. But is there something about the game that you have that's sacred?
I have a couple of the burns of the early games, like THPS 2, THPS 3, where they would send me a CD-ROM and literally just in Sharpie, right? THPS 3, beta.
Wow.
So I have those. I think that's pretty cool. I didn't save much. I wish I had.
The last question, you recently became a grandfather. We're talking about this auction that people are going to go crazy for. What was one non-negotiable? I am not parting with this. Is there anything, you've said that you don't get too attached to these items, but was there one thing that I am keeping back?
I kept X Games medals from specific years that relate to my kids.
Okay.
So some were the years they were born, some were the years that something significant happened. And so each of my kids has one of my X Games medals.
And then what was one that you had to go back and forth and then you were like...
This was not in the original auction.
It wasn't?
No.
Okay, so the auction was built and then this came later.
I had a pretty heavy discussion about this with my wife because it was like, don't you want to leave it to your kids for a legacy? And I was like, we have so many kids. Are we going to cut it up into pieces? Like, I just didn't know how to approach that.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that it was so long ago that this is now considered vintage. I never collected anything growing up. I mean, to be honest, I just didn't really have the money to get into stuff like that. And I never was sentimental about my own stuff, so I just didn't have a good context to it. But I think it was more once I realized that I could be kind of a keeper of sorts of movie memorabilia in relation to skateboarding, and that I could afford it. I was excited.
Can't thank you enough for inviting us into this space. We are so excited about the auction. You're such a great storyteller. I feel like most of these products have a story, so that just adds another layer to it. And thank you so much, Tony.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.